Uh, good, af- good afternoon or good evening. Sorry, good evening. So I'm very glad to be back in Taipei, especially on this stage, because exactly 1 year back, I was on the same stage talking about this product with a different name. And back then it was just theory. Right now it's practical. It's a product right now. So really happy here that in 1 year we did make a very good progress and we came with product. And last time I was just a speaker. This time I'm here as a speaker as well as a sponsor, and you have an opportunity to hack on this product. So really happy. So what is 10? So the last time I came here, if anybody of you heard about it, it was Obscuro, and we recently rebranded to 10, which stands for the encrypted layer. Okay, before talking about all these things, I need to tell you something. I need to make you aware about few pieces of information in this ecosystem, and then tell you what exactly 10 is, because it's the standard thing to pitch first the problem, then the solution. Okay, so starting with the problem. No, it's not problem, it's stats actually. So these are the stats that you're seeing on the screen right now. Ethereum does 1.3 million transactions per day. That's massive. Just imagine how many users would be interacting on a regular basis that these many transactions happen on a chain. This is one single chain. I'm not talking about those hundreds of chains, because you might have seen in the sponsors list, there are so many chains. One of them we are. So just on one single chain, you have got 1.3 million transactions. You have got 591K users transacting on a regular basis on chain. You have got 53 million plus smart contracts. If you don't know what smart contracts are like the logic or the program behind all this DeFi, NFT, and all these applications. You have got 4,000 plus contracts, verified contracts, and Web3 has been seeing 80% year-on-year growth. And out of this, all thousands of gigabytes of data is moving in and out of this chain, getting stored, used for execution. Why all the stats? What do I mean by this? The reason is there is a big void space, like this empty seats. There is a lot of there's one very big empty seat in the Ethereum ecosystem or Ethereum chain. Does anybody have idea what Ethereum is missing? No Ethereum users here? There's a very big missing piece in this Web3 puzzle. And that actually is security? No, it's not security. Ethereum has good security. Is it scalability? Ethereum doesn't have scalability, but there are a lot of other chains, layer 2s, which have solved the scalability problem. What about decentralization? Ethereum's decentralization is good. There are a lot of chains already out there offering decentralization. Then what exactly is the problem that I am here to talk to you? And that actually is something that you're already aware, you have been using in Web 2 on a regular basis. If you're chatting right now, if you're using a browser, you have been using that, you're familiar with that, but you didn't realize that this big missing piece would be bothering you in Web 3. So what exactly is that? And that is encryption. Nobody realized that Web 3 needs encryption and where actually it is, or if somebody is building on encryption. So I'm here to talk about encryption in such a big chain with so many stats, so many gigabytes of data, millions of transactions, millions of users. Why? Because it would take me barely 2 to 3 minutes to figure out what transactions you have done, what are your interests on chain, what dApps do you use on a regular basis, and basically profile you. Does anybody know how to do that? If you don't know, it's very simple. There is a very famous application in Web3 which can be used easily to track and trace your on-chain activity, interaction, data, events, everything. And that is actually EtherScan on Ethereum. Super simple. Just need to be a very good geek. You might feel this is a very simple tool. No, it's not a very simple tool. It's one of the most genius tools that can be used in a very good way to collect a lot of data, activity about you on chain and create a profile about you. It's very simple. Paste your wallet address here, figure out what all contracts you're interacting with. Go and check out the games that you're playing. Are you playing Axie Infinity? How many NFTs do you hold? What streaming dApps or DeFi dApps are you using? What tokens you hold? When do you interact? It's very simple. I can tell you in which region of this world you are living by simply looking at what time you are trading something. You can be completely anonymous, but I can figure out your time zone and your location in this globe by simply looking at EtherScan and figuring out what is the time period during which you're interacting. You might have not noticed that. So that's scary it is. But I'm not here to talk about transactional privacy. That is because that is very small aspect of this ecosystem. And there is one more tool, which I have not added on screen, but purely for educational purposes, I'm going to mention it. It is called as OXT. OXT is a tool which can be used where if you put in your address, you can actually create a complete profile of a user and know what are their interests, what dApps they are interacting, everything. So you don't even need to use EtherScan. Okay, cool. So what do we need to solve the situation where actually your transactions get revealed, and it's not just transactions. I'm here to talk about more. Can you build a Grab or a Gojek or a food delivery app on Web3? Any thoughts? Would you be able to build a food delivery app on Web3? Has anybody given thoughts? E-commerce, online shopping? No thoughts? Looks like you guys are falling short of ideas. You should look into why not Amazon on Web3, or why not some Web2 applications of Web3. It's not because somebody didn't think about it, it's because it's not simply possible in Web3. Why? It's very simple. If you place an order on an Amazon or an e-commerce application on Web3, I can see what orders you have placed because it's simply an on-chain transaction, right? I am paying USDT or Ethers to buy a smartphone or on a Web3 e-commerce, and I can figure out what transactions you did at what time. And I can sort of make a guess. You paid this much amount of money, so most probably you would have bought this thing. And I can figure out your addresses. Because it's on-chain, I can see what data you have inputted. Your delivery address, I can figure out where you live, where do you work, what's your office address. If you are building a Grab or a Gojek for a ride on Web3, I can figure out from where to where you are taking your rides. From your office to your apartment. From your friend's house to your family house. I can figure your address out. Because it's because the lack of encryption or privacy. You are already using this in Web2. Do you know where? Have you seen a padlock, a lock symbol when you type your address in the browser? A green padlock? That is called as HTTPS. So in Web2, you are actually using HTTPS. In the past, it was HTTP. Then somebody thought encryption was required, and they built HTTPS. Similarly, we need HTTPS in Web3, which would encrypt your data and your transactions, your activity, everything that's going through the chain. Okay. So we need privacy so that finally we can build all these dApps. But we don't need 100% privacy. We don't need 100% privacy because there are a lot of chains out there in the market that offer 100% privacy. Like, you don't have the flexibility, you don't have the programmability to choose what can be private and what can be transparent or public. And these chains or these solutions have been used for fraudulent activities. So we wanted to build something which would offer you programmable privacy. Have you heard about programmable privacy? So it's if it's a very new term for you, then I'll make it very simple. It's like the sound system here. It has so many buttons, right? In the same way, programmable privacy in Web3 is like this audio system where you can choose what I should make private and what I should make public. Like I can make my name private on ENS, but I can make my address, I can make my name public and my address private. This is programmable privacy. I can choose what kind of data on chain should be private and what should be public. And that is programmable privacy. And that is flexibility that we want to offer you as developers and users. Okay. And what this flexibility means? This flexibility means you could build finally dApps in Web3 where certain activities, certain data is public and certain data is private. And this public data can be used for verification, and all your personal identification and information stays completely safe and private, and nobody stalks on you or peeps on you. Okay. And we don't want to be the decision makers whether something should be 100% private or 100% transparent. In Ethereum, everything is 100% transparent. So even if you want to keep your passwords or if you want to keep your address or something private, that's not possible. We want you as a user or you as a developer to get the opportunity to choose the slider, like the volume slider, what I want to keep private and what I want to keep transparent. So that also is finally possible with what we are building. And all this is possible because of a technology called as TEEs. Have you heard about it? Anybody? Okay. So if that is a relatively new term for you, then trusted execution environment is a piece of hardware that is in everybody's phone or laptop that is sitting here. Apple has got this chipset called as T1s or T2, or known as secure enclave. What they are used for? To store your credentials, your passwords in a safe and secure manner. Your mobile phones have got that. If you are using a Android smartphone, then you have ARM's Trust Zone. If you're using an AMD laptop, then you have got AMD's SCV. If you're using an Intel Windows laptop, then you have got Intel SGX. All these are trusted execution environment. Trusted execution environment is even used by Netflix for DRM. Even it's in the Blu-ray DVD player. It's also in your crypto hardware wallet in the form of SEs, hardware security modules, TPMs. These are small piece of chipset which ensures that your crypto hardware wallet is safe and secure. The same piece of hardware we are using in our nodes to ensure that your data, your on-chain activity, interaction stays private. So it's like in very simple terms, it's like this black box. You put whatever you want to put inside it. It will execute it in a very trusted manner, and that can be verified, but nobody else can see that. It's like I put this remote inside it. Only I would be able to know that what I have put inside it. Nobody else can see that. It's like a black box. Nobody can see it. So you could actually put your personal details inside it. You could actually put your health details, health data, your symptoms, and your net worth, your balance, your transactions, your social media messages, your photos, your private videos, everything actually could be put inside this. Or simply even a smart contract that needs to be executed in a verifiable, trusted manner can be put into this. And this will execute it in a verifiable manner, and you'll get the output, but nobody else would be able to see into this or peek into this. Okay. So I gave you the example of all this data for just you to understand, but simply smart contracts can be put inside this black box or trusted execution environment, and it would execute in a safe and secure manner or a trusted manner. And does this introduce any new hurdles or frictions in terms of developer experience or user experience? Because usually when you see a new L1 or L2 come, there is one new thing that most importantly pops up, that is a new language for you to learn to start developing on this L1 or L2. No, there is no new language. You can simply use Solidity and the same set of tools like Web3, EtherJS, Hardhat, Remix, whatever it is, and you can actually build on a trusted execution environment based chains like 10. Okay, and the same developer experience, same user experience, you can use MetaMask. No need for new wallets. You can simply use MetaMask or any wallets you like to have an encrypted private experience. And what are the possibilities? If you have heard about MEV, MEV is a huge menace. millions are made using this MEV strategy where front running is done on your DeFi activity, and there are MEV bots, a lot of people who do MEV activity who make a lot of money. That is because there is this public mempool, there is this transparency which allows them to see the transactions to do front running. Then there is, so this trusted execution environment based layer 2 can offer encryption where the mempool stays private, and you can finally build a DeFi, a decentralized financing application which has 0% negative MEV, 100% negative MEV free. So you can confidently trade without fearing of losses. Then you can build fully on-chain games. Can you build League of Legends or Clash of Clans on Web3? You cannot build it. It's not because people don't want to build, it's because of two things. Because there is no encryption for you to put all the game logic inside chain or on chain, and second, the user experience is super bad. I'll give you a scenario, like if you try to put Clash of Clans on Web3, I can see the contract's logic, and I can figure out this is the next move I have to make to win the game or complete the level. And I can cheat because it's transparent. I can see what are the logic that the game developer has added into the contract, and I can understand and cheat. So a fully on-chain game cannot be built. There is lack of randomness. Like if you are trying to build a casino or a poker or a gambling game on-chain, that is not possible because there is no secure random number solution on-chain. There are few other solutions like VRFs, but there is nothing on-chain. So finally, you can build a fully on-chain game like poker, casino, gambling games. You can build fully on-chain games with hidden maps. You can hide maps on-chain or skins, assets, in-game assets on-chain. Then institutional trading. Institutions don't want what sort of trading they are doing, what sort of agreements they are making to the public. Like a multi-billion-dollar company signs a deal with somebody else, or they do some sort of trading. They don't want you to know. You're just public, and that's their business. They don't want somebody else to see. So institutions are not getting into Web3 because of lack of this privacy or encryption. And finally, that can be solved, and a lot of institutional-based apps, institutional trading solutions can be built on-chain. Dark pool trading and private liquidity. That is a very interesting topic, which is not possible with public chains, but finally possible with a programmable private chain. Confidential health system. So there is one of the projects that we recently started working with, which is building a health shared network where you can add your health data. You can contribute your health data, and your data would stay private. Nobody else can see it. Similarly, you can build a health insurance application. If you're trying to build a health insurance application in a decentralized manner, and if I try to add all my symptoms, my diseases, my ailments, my conditions, and if it's on Ethereum, somebody else can see what ailments, what symptoms, what conditions and diseases I have, and that can be misused. I don't want somebody else to know my physical ailments or my health conditions, but that could be solved by finally building it on this solution or this chain where your health data would stay private. Nobody else gets to know about that. So a lot of things like this could be built, and this is using trusted execution environment. And if you think that trusted execution environment is something that is giving you hiccups, then there is one more thing that we have added into this, which is optimistic proofs. So trusted execution environment plus optimistic proofs ensures that it is a very safe and secure environment for you to experience encryption, privacy with trust and decentralization. Okay. So what this means? This means there is encryption. And whenever there is encryption or privacy, there are bad actors who want to misuse this privacy or encryption to do fraudster activities, fraudulent activities, criminal activities. Okay. So there is the question of compliance and regulation. So we are actually compliant and regulated, like we follow regulations because there is something called as data revelation, which is a very novel concept that we have introduced and which is going to be out very soon. So what data revelation means is that data revelation allows you as a developer to tweak the time period, or the DAO has the opportunity to vote and make certain data public when some fraudulent activity happens or something goes wrong. The DAO has the power to vote and make something or reveal something. Okay, so data revelation is in the hands of developer or the DAO. So we want you to have the control of when the data needs to be private or public, or whether you want to keep it private or public. The complete flexibility and control is in your hands. Not just data, transaction, activity, interaction, anything on chain, it's in your hands, the control. Okay, so what next? We have got bounties worth $2,000 in this hackathon. And if you are looking to build something interesting, then you can explore what 10 is. I've given you a primer, okay? You can understand how encryption works through the docs and get started with building. I'm actually doing a workshop tomorrow. You can, sorry, day after tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow 8 p.m. I'm doing a workshop on how to build your first encrypted DApp. It's going to be a very interesting workshop because you might have never built an encrypted DApp. So for the first time, you will get an opportunity to build an encrypted DApp, and that too in 30 minutes. So join me tomorrow for the workshop, and if that inspires you, follow that. There are a lot of ideas in our idea bank. I'm going to share the QR code. You can scan that, build one of the ideas, and the bounty is all yours. Okay, so that is my QR code. You can reach out to me on Twitter, okay? And feel free to message me if you want to understand more about encryption, trusted execution environment, private shared states, or if you want to build, if you want to learn about private shared states or blockchain, even blockchain itself. If you're just getting started, if you want to learn about blockchain, feel free to reach out to me, message me, and this is the bigger QR code. That is my smaller QR code for me. This is the bigger QR code for the bigger project, that is 10. So you can scan this QR code. This is the QR code to our Twitter handle 10 protocol. You can scan this, go to our website. You will find all the resources like documentation, projects, resources to get started on using as a user or building as a developer. All the resources are given in the website, and you have everything now. You are aware what is wrong, what is the solution, what are the opportunities, and how to build, and what you would get if you build. So see you tomorrow on the workshop, and thanks for being patient, and I'm happy to be back here and talk about this. The space is open for questions now.
So we have 5-minute Q&A time. Does anybody have question for Jobin? Or for 10 Protocol? Thank you so much, and congrats on the progress. That's really cool.